Hey, so you wanted to be able to know how to find and delete records in like a child table when their parent record no longer exists. So, for example, here in this deal table, you can see we have all these deals, but these two here, we can see the reference no longer exists. So, the record in the merchant table was deleted. Um, so initially, what you could do is sort of like a cascading delete, and there's a tutorial and write up on that. Basically adding in the logic to also delete any related child record. But it sounds like you have some of these reference no longer exist already in your database table. So how do we go about finding and deleting those? So let's jump to the API here. And I've already created this, but let me go ahead and do a new one here. And I'll just call this new demo. The verb we're deleting here. Hit save. So our first step is to do a query all records from the table that we want to delete records from, so from deal. And now that we are querying all our records, what we're going to do is create an add-on here to the parent table, which is merchant. And we're just going to do existence, so whether or not items exist. We'll map it to that ID in the parent table, give it a name, create add-on, hit save. And so we can see when I actually go to run this, our two records down here where those reference no longer exist, even though they still have that integer there from our merchant ID, you can see the add-on says false, where these ones up here say true, because that data doesn't exist in our parent table. So now we can easily find those. Next step is, since we are doing a query all record, so we're returning a list here, what we want to do is iterate or loop through all these. So I'm going to do a for each loop. And I'm going to go ahead and, well, Loom does not like me to use the select box, so I'll just show you what I created here. So yeah, first step was to query all our records, do that existence add-on, and then we're just doing a for each loop through that variable from the query all records function. And we're just calling it item here. You can call it whatever you want. So once we've done that for each loop, we'll just go ahead and write a conditional, and we'll say that looped variable dot the name of our add-on, which is underscore merchant in this case, equals false. Then what we will do is we will delete records. So field name, ID, and the field value will be the loop variable. Remember, because we're dealing with a list, and then dot notation on the ID. So now if I go ahead and I simply run this, I'm not returning anything. But if we jump back to our database, into our deal table, you can see that our records where the reference no longer exists are now deleted.